everybody. Welcome back. This week we're going to return to an artist that I kind of cycle back to all the time, and it is the great Pablo Picasso. So this week we're going to look at his work, and specifically we're going to look at a lot of his portraiture. But before I kind of get into this, we're starting to kind of move on from the ideas of Impressionism, and we're really looking at new ways of depicting and interpreting what we see, what's in front of us. And one of these main movements that Picasso was really a cornerstone in is called Cubism. And there's a beautiful quote in this book about Picasso about it, so I'm going to read from it because it kind of sums it up in the most succinct way. And we'll get deeper into Cubism next week, but let's just put this in our coconuts so we have something to think about. The adventure of Cubism can be understood as an experiment in which artists tried to free themselves from the mere representation of nature, though without going so far as to create a wholly abstract work. A picture was no longer primarily a depiction of the world, but an object in itself. That is kind of an amazing summation of what Cubism is. And Pablo Picasso really was a forerunner of starting to look at things, nature, people, portraits. We're going to talk about portraits today specifically, and really starting to look at how we might see somebody and then how they might be depicted. And really, it's such a modern concept. And with what we see in illustration, cartoons, manga, all kinds of things like that, really is influenced directly from kind of the beginning of all this, which is Cubism and Pablo Picasso's work. So we're going to talk about that today. And first, I want us to really look at some portraits that he did. And they're pretty arresting. When you look at this lady, I mean, sometimes I kind of feel like that. I feel like I look like that in class. I know some of y'all are saying, yeah, Mrs. S really has looked like this. But different eyes, different sides of the face, so that could be representing like different feelings. One day you might be feeling this side. The next day you might be feeling that side. It's pretty interesting. There's a lot of balance here. Look what's happening with the clothing, really being inspired about what's on somebody's clothing and really making that into an abstraction on the body. I think it's just fascinating. Look at this hand. I love it. So look at this hand. Isn't that great? So you know how sometimes when you're like just grabbing your face, it's like so heavy. And I mean, you could feel that in that hand. So he's really looking at faces in a new way. Before this, people didn't do anything even close to this. Here's a gentleman in a hat. He really liked to paint people in hats. I should be wearing a hat today. What's wrong with me? But look at these eyes, this nose, the lips, all the different skin tones. Just really interesting. And also kind of accepting the fact that, you know, our faces aren't perfectly balanced. They're not perfectly even. Next time we're in class, I'll have to show you guys. Well, maybe I can. We'll see if it works here. But I have one eye that's way higher than the other. This eye is higher than this eye by a pretty good amount. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's see if I just hold this. So as you can see, if it's dead on, that this eye is way higher. Anyway, when I was in art school and I was doing self-portraiture, it was really hard. And a friend of mine gave me one of the most wonderful compliments. He said, you know, you have a Picasso face. You have one eye that's higher than the other. And I really took it as a compliment because I think these paintings are kind of amazing. I love all the patterns and textures, what's happening in the background. I love the abstracted clothing. I love, even though this is a profile, he's still putting in both eyes. I love the profile of the mouth, and the mouth is there. Interesting. It's pretty fascinating. So look at this one. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I feel like this too. This is kind of moody. You definitely get a feeling. You can see where the combination of color, line, as well as these elements that introduce you into like what's a face, a nose, eyes, lips, hair, can really start to give you a certain feeling. They're pretty interesting. And I kind of think they look like some cartoons we might have seen. Look at this one. Here's another one. This is a portrait of him. And you can really kind of see some similarities there. I really like it, especially in the eyes and the mouth. I love that nose. Isn't that fabulous? Look at the hair. It's really, really great. So today I want us to do a Picasso style portrait and really think about it. This is pretty balanced, but same thing. We've got two different sides of the face. The eyes are slightly different, one slightly above the other. Look at these lips. Look at the pattern on her clothing, all that good stuff. So what we're going to do today is we're going to play this game, and it's going to be called, let me get it up here. It's called Roll a Picasso. Hoping we can do this. Yes, we can. We can roll a Picasso. That's what we're doing. So everybody is going to see at home, just get a single die. So it's a pair of dice, and when it's just one, it's called a die. I love that. Get a single die, and you're going to roll. And whether you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, that's going to tell you your combination that you're going to use. So you're going to look across here. If you get a 3, you do this face, these eyes, that nose, that lips, that ears, and this kind of background. These are the backgrounds to choose from: ears, lips, nose, eyes, and this is shape of face. Now, let's remember, depending on what you get, you can then, create your face. Do your background pattern last. That's why I have it in the very last spot. But you're going to roll your dice, and I rolled mine earlier, and I got, what did I get? I got a 3. So I'm going to show you guys my whole process because it's pretty interesting. Hold on, let me get my process. So I rolled a 3. All right, so first thing I do, I look at the face shape. Here we go. I drew this pretty big on my paper. I just started with a white piece of paper. I think you should use a Sharpie marker or a black crayon, whichever you want to do. Black crayon or Sharpie marker. So I drew this weird kind of profile situation on my face. I did it dead center, you guys. Dead center. So I drew that first. The next step I did is I was like, hey, I'm going to draw my eyes. I'm going to detail the nose. So let's look at this. I've got the eye. I detailed this nose. I put that little thingy in there for my nose. I did the lips. And I did the ear. So I was like, okay, I got to this. I was like, that's kind of cool. But then, of course, I wanted to do something different. So then I moved on to this. So I was like, hey, wait a minute. I'm going to do a second nose. And I'm going to do a second eye kind of lower because that's like me. That's kind of like me trying to do a portrait. And then I kind of kept going. I thought, I'm going to add my lips somewhere different. I'm going to add my ear. I need to add hair detail. I'm going to put a hat on myself because I want to. And I'm going to keep adding. So the important thing about this is I want you guys to look at these drawings. These paintings. When you see these paintings, they are a complete composition. The whole paper is used. So I'm only part of the way there. I'm still just working in black. I'm just doing the black outline. That's it. Work with your Sharpie or your black crayon. Do that first. So you're starting with your paper, work with your black Sharpie, do the drawing. Then you're going to take it to the next level. So then I was like, hey, I'm just going to keep going. I kept going. I drew my ear. I added hair. I did clothes. I did like 2 necks. I added lips. I did some stripes in the background. I put part of a beret on the top. But even though I got this far, colored it in. I went there. I was trying to get to this place. So you can see I'm trying to get here. I'm doing whatever it takes to get there. But I'm still not fully there because then I looked at myself. I was like, I don't have earrings on in this drawing. I don't have a necklace. You got to keep going. So the other part too is you can look at this and say, yeah, this is really abstracted, but it's full of details. So just because it's abstracted doesn't mean it doesn't have all the details. There's so many details in each one of these. I want you to have as many details as possible. So first step, start all with black line. Do all your work in black line. Get it filled in. You start here. You start here and you just keep building, keep adding. Once you've done that, color it in. And you might need to go back and add some other details. I'm going to add a necklace on this and some earrings because it's missing it and it needs it, definitely. So keep going, have fun, enjoy making a Picasso inspired portrait. Really try to think about things that identify you. So that's why I really realized, hey, this thing doesn't have earrings and a necklace. Needs it. Boom. It's got a patterned shirt. That seems kind of like me. So keep working on it. I put some gray in there for my hair. So keep working on what you're on your portrait. Have fun with it. I cannot wait to see what you do. Don't worry. Everyone's going to have dice in the classroom. There's paper. You've got crayon markers. I did crayon, marker, Sharpie marker, and colored pencil on this. So everyone will also have a copy in the classroom of this. So don't worry, you'll be able to use it. I'll also attach one in the comments on this YouTube. So enjoy yourself. Have fun rolling for your Picasso face. You can do this more than one way. You can roll and just do whatever's in your line, or you can roll for each type. So remember that. You don't have to just stick with, let's get this out. Oh, she's really good. So you could roll for face shape. You could roll again for eyes, roll again for nose, roll again for mouth, roll again for ears, or you can roll once and do what I did and I just followed everything straight across. But of course, you know, I did a different background. So have fun with it, be thoughtful, and enjoy really doing your best to follow this wonderful inspiration from Pablo Picasso. I'll see you guys next week. Have fun. Take care. Bye.